You said you wanted to start off hot?
Yeah, I want to. So I want to clarify something, okay?
Right.
And I'm sure this will be a YouTube clip, okay? Because I want to reiterate a position, okay?
Right.
So I saw. Did you watch Full Gear?
Not yet.
Okay, I didn't watch Full Gear either.
Can I just tell you one thing? Can I just tell you one thing? My favorite spot of the whole week in any promotion, Disco?
Yeah, is what?
When Ibushi got on the bike and he had a tube and he literally love tapped the guy with the tube. Like, bro, I'm telling you. He hit one guy with a love tapped him. You can't even use the word hit. Love tapped one guy, went by, and he love tapped the other guy. And then they suplexed him on the bike. Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk about this. And I have to make a statement because I think it needs to be said. All right. Because I think it's evidently true, and I don't think a lot of people understand this position or like come from this position. Like they don't even think about this, right? So I tweeted this. I see highlights on X from the AEW pay-per-view where the wrestlers were doing illogical and painful spots where they could injure themselves for a fan base of fat slob incels. So stupid. Read the room, guys. These fans are not worth risking your health for. Okay? And that's harsh. That's a harsh tweet, and it's going to people off, and I knew it would, right? So they got a lot of response. Okay, you get about 20% people that agree with me, but 80% are angry because I call them a fan base of fast love incels. So I just want to make my position very clear here, bro. When you look at the AEW audience, that is a visual picture that you can absolutely make a judgment on. That these people don't have a lot of money. They're not in very good health. They're physically unattractive. Okay. Now there are a percentage of people in the audience that would, not fall within that prism. But basically, when you look at that crowd, it's a very distinct, clear visual picture that everybody can see. Okay. Now, professional wrestling, when I trained to be a professional wrestler, we all train. Okay. When you train to be a professional wrestler, you train to work. Okay. And work is making it look as real as possible while keeping your opponent safe and while keeping yourself safe without trying. You're not trying to hurt each other. You're not trying to, okay? You're trying to make it look like it hurts without hurting or doing things that hurt, okay? That's work. The best workers in the history of this business are the ones that did that, married that concept, and did it the best, okay? And we know who they are. Like in the history, the Bret Harts, the Ric Flairs, the guys that, when the match was over, you looked at them and said, you didn't do something insanely stupid. You went out there and worked to make it look like a real fight, right? So when I see this generation of cats doing things that have very high catastrophic risk of injury, all right? And I'm looking at the people in the crowd that you're doing, that you're risking these things for. Okay, and that you're taking catastrophic injury risks where you can break your neck, where you can die, where you can break stuff, you can break bones, you can get concussed. When I'm watching you guys do this, I'm sorry, this is my sensibilities. It's disturbing for me to watch because I'm like shaking my head. I'm going, what? Why are I would like to talk to you like personally when you do some of these spots. As soon as the spot over is going, what on earth were you thinking that you wanted to that you tried to do that? What is the risk reward here? And ultimately, that's the question. What is the risk reward? Okay, the reward, and this is the only reward: your match ratings from Meltzer, your approval from the fans that you would not want to spend 2 minutes with any of these people. Okay. Personally, in real life, you would not want to go to dinner with them or go to a club. You work out with them. You just want these people to be on the other side of the barricade, okay, and pay to come watch you perform. So I'm just wondering why on earth you guys are risking serious injury for fans that are that want that from you. They're popping when you're taking health risks. That gets the biggest pops from them. And you guys are feeding into it. And you don't have to. It's perfect example. Did you see the bump that Luchasaurus gave Darby this week going in? Okay. They're inside the ring. Luchasaurus picks him up. Okay, they're inside the ring. Choke slams him he's on the inside of the ring. So over the ropes, choke slams Darby onto the apron onto the floor. Okay, easily broken rib, could have busted pelvic. You could have gotten seriously hurt, but he just took the bump. And I'm like, all right, well, all the other things you could have done. Why did you do that spot? If you didn't do that spot, would these people think anything less of you? And would how healthy would you be after that spot? You just obviously hurt. I love Swerve. Okay, I'm watching Swerve and Hangman Page, and they're doing deathmatch spots. They're stapling things in his cheek. They're doing Death Valley drivers onto cinder blocks. And Meltzer's thing like, was this the greatest death match of all time?
Well, now you missed you missed the biggest, most disgusting part, which is when the blood.
Bro, he's bleeding, and he's doing the thing where Hangman Blood is opening his mouth and drinking Swerve's blood coming from his head. Okay, you have Meltzer and then this community of fans that you're performing for talking about, was this the greatest death match of all time? And I'm looking at it and going bro, you guys stapled stuff into your cheek, you drank a guy's blood, and you did Death Valley drivers onto cinder blocks because you want the adulation of somebody telling you that you had the greatest death match of all time? I cannot get into these people's heads. I don't know what professional wrestlers are thinking these days. This is not professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is working it where you're not trying to hurt yourself, make it look as real as possible. Bro, you guys are just doing the real and literally risking you getting hurt and being out for 6 months, a year, and even ending your career. For what? For 5 stars? For like you to say like, oh well, the Swerve Hangman Page, that was the greatest death match of all. Like for people to say that, bro, what if you didn't get through the match healthy? Well, would that have been worth it? It's like, and I cannot understand why these guys are doing this, especially in the year 2023, where there is no suspension of disbelief. And in Mexico, you can still do blood because there is a percentage of fans, that fan base. Konnan, would you agree with this? There's still a lot of percentage of compared to the United States fans that think it's real in Mexico. Would you agree with that? The higher percentage, but not a lot.
I don't think
right?
they would think it's real, but they're way more willing to suspend disbelief.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, and there is a part of them, and this is a psyche thing that I've noticed over the years, that when they see somebody bleed, since they don't see it that much anymore, they're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Something's going on. And bro, they get more emotional. They get more into it. They get more frenzied. When blood is used right, it's a very good tool.
But we don't use it right here. Because, bro, because in our community, in our smart mark fan base where everybody knows everything, we know they're blading themselves.
Right.
All the fans do. So it's like you're missing the point of bleeding because, like, you're not hitting the emotional response of the fans. You're cosplaying old school wrestling that used to do that. Like that's what it looks like to me. You're cosplaying 1980s blood feud wrestling, everything, and you're doing it so poorly that we're watching you gig yourself. So what's the point?
I think and it's not so much cosplaying the earlier that we did. I just think it's like on the tip of
it's just not necessary. Like you're not. It's not the emotional.
What's killing them? What sometimes it is necessary. I think what's like if you're in a cage match, somebody should bleed.
Okay, right, because you're scraping like you're hitting the cage, like you bust it open,
so,
or
a bunkhouse brawl.
I think that the problem is the overusage of it has desensitized people to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where they see it so much, and sometimes not even for the right reasons, that it doesn't. They haven't protected it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect word. You haven't protected it. And because you haven't protected it, it's not hitting the emotional response like it's supposed to. You're supposed to be rising to the level of like, well, this guy are they really? It's making you question yourself. Is it real?
Yeah. And
when you're watching when you're doing so much, it's like it's not real because we know what you're doing. So
and
I don't know.
I just want to say something real quick. So, like your definition of what a worker is what it is. But I do think that what happened is when wrestlers started to go to like the Japan where they slap you and they suplex you, and like, when you go there, you can't call it in.
Right.
If not, they will eat you up.
Right.
And I found that out the hard way. And so I think that, like, remember when Brody was just killing people in Japan and coming to the United States and doing this thing, like, he wasn't taking care of people. But there is part of the fan base, and I even was part of this when I was wrestling. Like, I went through my phase where, I'm going to show everybody so I was doing extreme, and I was laying it in, and laying it in on me. I got caught up in all of that. And I just think that, these wrestlers, there's so much competition now, and everybody wants to be famous, and there's obviously currency in being hot on social media. They're like, they want to make a meme. They want something that goes viral. They want to be, they want fans to say, wow, man, I went. Did you see the bump Darby Allin took? It's a sick bump. And he's starting his own legacy because he sees the way people talk about Foley or Terry Funk, in reverence. Right. Maybe one day they'll talk about me like that, And then, of course, there's a whole generation of wrestlers that grew up reading the Wrestling Observer. Right. And to them, Dave's word is, it's the standard. Right. Bro, I got a 5-star match with Dave. I got a 4.5-star match. Like, that's big to them. It wasn't to us. Right. Just because it wasn't to us doesn't mean it isn't to them.
We literally would joke about it.
Right.
When we come back after the match and we go, yeah, I just got I'd wrestle like the third match on the top. You'd wrestle the semi-main. When you come back and say, hey, I just read we got the internet reports, and they said, they said, my match was the best. Your match was the second best. And you'd be like, no. I heard different. I heard they said that my match was the best.
Right.
Your match was
the second. Right.
We know each other.
Go into a long thing. Yeah, it was
right. We're joking about the star ratings.
Right.
When we came back, and you killed it because the crowd was popping huge. So it didn't matter like what the star rating was. Like we did our job, right?